looking at some of the challenges before we spoke around, particularly in the insurance industry, and actually there were three people-related ones that came up. One was trust.
Saw you sort of mentioned there, you mentioned teams and stuff, and I think a lot of at the moment with the insurance industry, people are struggling maybe, and that could be to do with their sort of culture and their values. I think that'd probably be a big challenge for them.
Mm-hmm.
I would sort of want to ask you, what would you say is a great way to combat this, and what sort of benefits will companies who take on this challenge see? So if they, really combat that culture issue.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've interestingly, culture sort of figured in a lot of the work I've done, not just in the UK, but with international teams, and how you develop teams and the role culture plays in that is really important. And interestingly, I was just looking at some of the challenges before we spoke around, particularly in the insurance industry, and actually there were three people-related ones that came up. One was trust, which I guess is customers trusting the insurance companies or brokers that are out there, which I guess is crucial. Poor management came up, interestingly. So I guess if you've got poor management in an organization, that's going to influence not only how the team internally perform, but how they engage with customers. And there was something there about skills, and I know we come on to talent in a bit, but either having not enough of the right skills or the wrong skills in those places. So I mean, there were some other tech issues which I'm sure linked to supportory irrelevance, cyber risks, and the complexity of insurance technology. But coming back to culture, I mean, I think the culture of your business is very much sort of defines how you do things around the organization and what you believe in. So some of those aspects around culture in terms of your values, what you really believe in within the organization, whether that's trust, empowerment, integrity, professionalism, resilience, and then not only just those being spoken words, but demonstrated across everything the organization does. And often it's the leaders that have to set the example and walk the talk, which is crucial. I mean, I've been involved in quite a few cultural transformation programs, and you get a lot of energy at the start, you get input from the teams, but keeping that momentum and sustaining it, and everyone being involved and demonstrating and living those values is actually quite tricky. And you obviously get changes in organization and management and leaders. So how do you keep developing that culture? And it's really important because you create a trusted environment that flows through in terms of how the teams engage and probably how the management behave and perform. And you get into things like you'll see people developing their skills and pushing themselves. And you probably retain the people in the organization and also attract people because it's seen as a positive place to work.